As rescue efforts are underway to recover people stuck in rubbles from buildings that collapsed following massive earthquake in Turkey, the death toll in Turkey and Syria has crossed a grim mark of 5,000. Many countries have, meanwhile, extended support for emergency response and recovery. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanama. Let's begin with the top stories of the hour. Premier Dahal gives another directive for the implementation of the Common Minimum Program. Public offices yet to show any improvement despite repeated directives. Kantipur Media Group expresses commitment towards its professional ethics, calls allegations of Rashtra Swatantra Party Chair Ravi Lamichhane baseless. Death toll following the massive earthquake in Turkey crosses grim 5,000 mark. Rescuers race against time to save those trapped in the rubble. And Nepal come back from a goal down to humble India 3-1 in the South Under-20 Championship, secure a berth in the tournament final. Prime Minister and ministers have been issuing directives to ensure efficient public service delivery time and again. However, no government department has reported improved performance or service delivery for the public despite such repeated directives. At the first meeting of the Council of Ministers since assuming office on December 26 last year, Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal said that his priority would be to address the public grievances related to hour-long queues to receive passport and license. While assuming office, Premier Dahal had also signed the decision to ensure good governance, ease service delivery and increase efficiency of development and construction works. After making public the minimum common program of the government, Prime Minister Dahal had directed all secretaries to formulate work plans. The plans of ministers were given an integrated form after a marathon discussion where Prime Minister Dahal yet again issued another directive for ensuring effective implementation. Despite Premier Dahal and ministers' repeated assurances and directives for ensuring ease in public service delivery and development, the lapses and delay in and from the government mechanisms have yet to witness any change. Public have not felt any respite in the past month and a half, while challenges are only piling up for the Prime Minister to deliver on his assurances. Only 1 month remains for the election of the President. However, political parties have yet to hold discussions regarding their candidates. The ruling coalition parties have agreed to field CPN-UML's candidate for the post, but the candidate must also be accepted from all parties of the coalition, which seems to be a difficult task, as largest party at the House of Representatives, Nepali Congress, has also been claiming for the president's post. CPN-UML and Nepali Congress are yet to hold adequate internal and external talks in this regard. Largest party of the coalition, CPN-UML, has not held any parleys with other parties, while opposition Nepali Congress has not consulted with the ruling coalition. Parties of the ruling coalition themselves have said that adequate time remained for talks regarding the candidate for the post of the president. In the current scenario, there are 4 possibilities for the candidate for president, with the first alternative being acceptance of UML Chair KP Sharma Oli's pick, the second being the candidate suggested by Prime Minister and CPN Maoist Centre Chair Pushpakamal Dahal. The third option would be a common candidate from parties excluding UML and Congress, and the fourth being the candidate from opposition. There are possibilities of UML Chair Oli's preference being accepted as the coalition's candidate. Prime Minister Dahal appears to be concerned with Oli's pick. If a candidate had to be picked from UML, in fact, Dahal is understood to be comfortable with former Constituent Assembly Chairperson Subhash Chandra Nimwang and former Bagmati Province Chief Minister Ashtalakshmi Shakya. In addition to that, Prime Minister Dahal is also understood to be preferring a candidate from his own party. CPN Unified Socialist Chairperson Madhav Kumar Nepal has also emerged as one of Dahal's preference for the president post. However, UML Chair Oli is not prepared to accept Nepal as a presidential candidate. With both ruling and opposition parties yet to hold adequate discussions on the candidate for president, uncertainty remains regarding the next president of the country. The chairman and managing director of Kantipur Media Group, Kailash Siroya, has expressed regret to the allegations made by Rashtra Swatantra Party chair Ravi Lamichhane against Nepali media fraternity and media personnel and has challenged him to prove all the allegations. In a press statement, the KMG CMD issued 5 points where he has challenged Lamichhane's allegations against him, his family and Kantipur Media Group. Siroya has said that Lamichhane wrongly accused him of holding shares in Chandragiri Hills, which is a public limited company. In relation to the car accident of his son Sambhav Siroya on the morning of December 12, 2015, Siroya has said Lamichhane portrayed the incident as a huge scandal that was deliberately suppressed. The press statement adds that it was an unfortunate accident where one of Siroya's family member was injured and the accident was immediately notified to the traffic police office at Bagi Khana. Siroya has also clarified that he had lodged a formal complaint with the police demanding legal punishment against a Facebook account by the name Sidha Kura, which attempted character assassination by linking him to an incident of women's harassment at Salty Hotel. Siroya has said that he had lodged the complaint at the Kathmandu Valley Crime Investigation Office. Regarding his investment in the Himalayan Reinsurance Limited, Siroya has said that he had bought promoter shares worth 100 million rupees and did not get the shares as a personal favor as alleged by Lamichhane. In the fifth and the final point, Siroya has questioned another one of Lamichhane's highly objectionable accusation regarding the unsubstantiated claim once made by businessperson Ajay Sumargi that Siroya used to accept golden shares. While challenging Lamichhane to furnish proof against his claims, Siroya has termed Lamichhane's threat to encircle media offices and dispense with his own punishment an open challenge to press freedom. He has further questioned if these warnings should be taken as Lamichhane's personal views or as the official stance of Rashtra Swatantra Party. Also challenging Lamichhane to honestly answer all questions raised against him, including his citizenship, dual passport and dual nationality, Siroya has added that Lamichhane and his party would be responsible if any journalists, office workers or offices are in fact physically targeted. The government has decided to proceed with bills, including the one related to citizenship. Making public the decision of the Council of Ministers, government spokesperson Rekha Sharma said that preparations were underway to take the bills, including the one related to citizenship, to the House of Representatives. The Council of Ministers has also approved the upcoming February 13 India visit of Defence Minister. Other decisions of the Cabinet, including providing 14 ropanis of land in Gokarneshwar, Kathmandu for taking ahead the works of Bagmati embankment, providing 45 ropanis of land in Jaljale, Dailekh for study of petroleum prospects and initiating procedures for amendment of a few acts. Welcome back. The scale of foreign direct investments in Nepal has been on a declining trend despite government efforts to encourage investors. On top of the lack of study to identify the reasons behind the failure to attract investors, Nepal also has yet to have its creditworthiness evaluated. 4 years ago, the government had declared of evaluating sovereign credit rating, which is a crucial parameter taken into consideration by investors. Credit rating is an indicator of the environment to invest and the potential for returns on investment. After taking 1 year to find a donor to support credit rating tests, the government had contracted international rating agency Fitch 3 years ago. However, the agency halted its work, saying that the impacts of COVID pandemic might not produce desired results. 3 years since the pandemic, Fitch has yet to resume its works. This has affected FDI flow in the country. Nepal, Bhutan and Afghanistan are the only countries in the South Asian region that have yet to receive credit rating. India has a BBB rating while the US has a AAA. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we asked you, why has operation of electric vehicles not eased? 39% voted for option A, lack of infrastructure, 47% for B, no cooperation from government, and 14% for C, lack of interest from businesses. And Here's today's question. What do you term the government assurance to increase health science academies without adequate studies? Your options are A. Effort to win confidence of everyone, B. Commercial interest, and C. Baseless assurances. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, in our Public Voice segment, today we've asked people in several provinces why have the Prime Minister's directives not been implemented on time. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
कर्मचारी होस् अथवा नेताहरूले भनेको चाहिँ उहाँले दिएको निर्देशनलाई चाहिँ मान्नु पर्यो।
तल्लो निकायले नमान्नुको कारण मलाई लाग्छ उहाँहरूले पनि केही न केही कमजोरी गरिराख्नु भएको छ।
कर्मचारीले गर्दा अब ढिलासुस्ती भएको हुन सक्छ।
यो चाहिँ अटोरीपन हो।
देशको सिस्टमै चेन्ज नगरिकन प्रधानमन्त्रीले बोलेको भरमा सबै कुराहरू कार्यान्वयन हुँदैन।
विभिन्न दलहरूको स्वार्थ बाजिँदाखेरि चाहिँ
निर्देशन नमान्नेलाई चाहिँ कारबाही नगर्ने परिपाटीले गर्दाखेरि
अनुशासन इमानदारिता छैन।
प्रधानमन्त्री र मन्त्रीहरूले नै आफू जो बोलेका हुन्छन् उनीहरूले आफूले बोलेको कुरा नै पूरा गरेका हुन्नन्।
The death toll from the earthquakes centered in southeastern Turkey, according to Turkish authorities, have now rose to 3,419, bringing the total number of killed, including those in northern Syria, to more than 5,000. The number is expected to further rise as rescue operation continues. Rescuers are racing to rescue survivors from the rubble of thousands of buildings brought down by a magnitude 7.8 earthquake and multiple aftershocks that struck eastern Turkey and neighboring Syria. Countries from around the globe have dispatched teams to assist in the rescue efforts, but a day after the earthquake struck, the number of emergency crews on the ground, experts say, remains few, with their efforts impeded by frigid temperatures and close to 200 aftershocks, making the search through unstable structures perilous. The United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, has said that thousands of children may have been killed as a result of the earthquake and aftershocks. Many families in Syria and Turkey are continuing to search for their children, while other children have been pulled out of the rubble only to find that their family members have died. The World Health Organization has said some 23 million people could be affected by the disaster. Welcome back. It's time now for the sports update.
Sports news.
Team Nepal have progressed to the grand finale of the SAF Under-20 Women's Championship. Nepal came back from a goal behind to secure a 3-1 win over India and progress to the grand finale of the age group tournament. Apurna Narjari had put India ahead in the 20th minute of the match with the solitary first half goal. However, Nepal made a strong comeback in the second half where they scored 3 goals. Anjali Chand equalized for Nepal in the 48th minute. Captain Preeti Rai put Nepal ahead as she converted 69th minute penalty, while Amisha Karki secured the 3-1 win 20 minutes later. With the win, Nepal collected 6 points from 3 matches and finished atop the group table. 5 players of Nepal, including national women's cricket team captain Rubina Chetri, have been registered for the auction of players for the Women's Indian Premier League. The Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI, is organizing the Women's League for the first time. Skipper Rubina, experienced player Sitarana Magar, bowler Kavita Kaur, Ashmina Karmacharya and Indu Verma had been registered for the auction. These players were recommended by the Cricket Association of Nepal to the BCCI. While players could register themselves for the auction for the IPL, recommendation of the National Cricket Governing Body was required for the WPL. The auction is slated for February 13. With 18 players to be selected by each team from the auction, they can include 7 overseas players. Based on the requirement of the 7 overseas player, one must belong to an associate nation. According to the Indian media, 1,500 players have been registered for the auction. The tournament, which will be contested by 5 teams, will be held between March 4th and 26th. Up next is the weather update. is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.